has lifted. That's Kolokoltsev of the Ukraine, 226, so we are just underway, and this is the Egyptian 19-year-old Mohammed Ehsan. Actually, very quickly, I was telling you about this story. This was a diver, Russian diver, and they were on the World Cup tour in America, went to Florida, and then they had a whole month over in California, and what they decided to do was to have a competition over there, and they had the competition and then they had a party. But what nobody knew was that this particular Russian diver had been taking karate courses all through the month that he was there. And he did that thing that I guess we've all done, which is you go up to your hotel room and then realise you left your key downstairs. But he was a little worse for wear, shall we say, from the party, and he couldn't actually be bothered about that, so they found him lying on the door to his room. And when they managed to sober him up and he explained that he karate chopped the door down, they didn't actually believe him. The management didn't believe him, so he took him across the corridor and he did another door and they sent him home.
Well, these guys don't karate chop doors, they walk through them. So you can see the bend on that bar now. So success there on 230 to go with his 190 that he eventually snatched, puts him on 420. So for a 19-year-old, beginning of his career, it's a pretty good start. $230 kilos, already in excess of 500 pounds. No one's actually clean and jerked 600 pounds yet. That would be 272.5 kilos. So we're around at 10 kilos off of that at the moment, but hopefully at some point someone like Rezazadeh will break the 600 pound barrier.
Here's an interesting thought, David, that came in overnight. It's a question, really. So except for the super heavyweights, all lifters lift near their maximum. This is from Stephen, near the maximum weight for their categories. And except for the super heavyweights, all the lifters lift near the maximum for their weight categories. The struggle to keep their weight down, I suppose this means that, you know, prior to the competition they don't eat foods such as steaks, which would increase their weight. However, such foods would obviously also increase their strength. So what Stephen's wondering is how long before the competition the weigh-in takes place, which as we know is 2 hours. He's saying why not make it 48 hours so they could gorge themselves and become strong again.
Well, I think the trouble is that what would happen there is kind of what happens now. People take things to the extreme, so people will at the moment train between 2 and 6 kilos overweight. They'll lose that through dehydration, sauna, losing body fat nearer the competition. And I think all that would happen is that if you put the weigh in sort of 48 hours before, people would end up coming down more weight because they'd have more time to put it on. So I think the main thing here is that everything's equal. I mean, it wouldn't matter if you wanted to make it 48 hours before. Make it 48 hours before, but it kind of would make no difference. The main thing is that everybody weighs in either 48 hours before, 2 hours before, or 1 hour before, and that it's the same for everybody. I mean, that's the important thing. And some athletes are prepared to lose more weight than others. Some of the flyweights or some of the bantamweights rather, I've seen them sit in the sauna for hours the day before dehydrating.
I think his point though is, if you do weigh in as they do 2 hours before for the the majority except the super heavies, you're actually weakening yourself at the moment. Well,
but you could kind of, if you want to flip the argument on its head, you could say, well, one of the reasons they do it in weightlifting is so that people don't lose excessive amounts, because if you do lose too much, it will adversely affect your performance. And I think by bringing the weigh in closer, to the competition, it actually encourages people to lose less. So if you actually took it away, it would encourage people to, you know, further away, it would encourage people to lose more. So I think it's probably better having it closer. People are encouraged to lose less weight because of the, you know, the effect on the performance.
Hungry old day though when you only compete at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh yes, tell me about it. I've done it.
Pavel Nidek, Poland.
Yes, generally more comfortable in the clean and jerk.
Yeah, good strong arms overhead. He looks in good sorts with himself, actually. 233. The bar.
It's on 420 because he only snatched 187.5, so he's giving a lot away in the first phase.
187, no 0.5.
187, that's right. New rulings. Old habits die hard, David.
I know. What at your age? You are in the Masters now. So Kolokoltsev, this was the man who opened up on 226. Well, some of these men will be back here next year for the Asian Games. They've got a dress rehearsal of that starting in December here, the West Asia Games. Slightly constructed to just check out all the facilities. The Asian Games is, well, almost as big an undertaking as staging the Olympic Games, so quite a challenge for Doha. You know, lots of new construction, a lot of importation of, well, television equipment amongst other things. So Kolokoltsev.
Yes, disappointing in the snatch. Only managed 185. Well, let's hope he can do better.
Yeah, just looking at the stats though, and where he is, David, he's 195, 240, 435 with his last World Championship stats. That was 2 years ago in Vancouver, and he's going to have to do some work to get up there.
And that looks heavy. No. No, the clean was all wrong. And I bet the referee's glad that there's that wooden stop there.
Yeah, the Ukraine, another nation which you have to look at the performance of their athletes out here at the Worlds and slightly wonder they're not blazing a path.
Well, generally speaking, this championship, the men are actually down on their performances. The women are up.
Yeah.
And this is because women's weightlifting is in its infancy. Of course, when I say it's in its infancy, I mean, I know it's been around a long time, but in terms of you know, being included in the Olympic Games, which I think has been a huge factor in the improvement of women's weightlifting over the last few years.
That's interesting. Shigishev, halfway leader.
Yes, being coached by the winner of, or helped by the winner of yesterday's competition.
Yeah, the Russians are going to have a lot to say about the future of this sport. Dmitry Klokov it was who won yesterday. So 235 for third and final time. This is the last opportunity. So this would be what, 420?
420, yeah. Well, no, he's got.
We have 18.
He's done 126 on his opener. That's right. This is the guy that we missed during during the break, isn't it? So he's taken a 9 kilo jump. So he's got a total.
Yeah, this would be 411. Sorry, what am I talking about? 411. This is a 185 and a 226.
Yes, but but you were right because you were going on the.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's horrible when that happens. Bar pushing across the windpipe, blocking off the oxygen supply, and no one rushes forward to make sure he doesn't fall over. But he seems to have recovered now. Yes, so 2:35 proving a little too much today. And you're right, he finishes on 4:11. I'm not quite sure where he is.
So Glushko of Russia. Well, what a difference between the two Russians. This man only bringing forward 187 kilos, only got one of the 3 snatch attempts, so up against it as well. Well, he's animated enough, but although he's got the lift, I don't find him terribly convincing. .424. No.
We snatched 187, didn't he?
Yeah, 424.
Yeah.
424. I am right. Now, clearly, this young man would appear to prefer the clean and jerk to the snatch phase. I could understand that.
Seconds.
Giving away 8 years and 16 kilos to Rezazadeh. I think it's the 8 years which are the big difference rather than the kilos. That's not too bad.
That's good. Yeah, solid in the second phase.
Yeah, he's much more comfortable here. 2:38. Nice increase, and now really is making a bit of an impression, David, because
well, he's on 4:28, isn't he now? So
yeah. And 4:28. Just looking at the sort of progress. I mean, back in 2003 at the World Championships. Okay, it's a couple of years, but that's now 38. What did we say? 4:28. So he's 28 kilos up on that. Now Nidek didn't catch the bars there. Is it still on 230?
I think it's probably gone up a kilo.
Yeah.
I think we're on 239.
Yeah, he's using all his experience now. That's, you know, again, that's good to see.
Good lift.
238.
238.
Yeah, no, it's stayed the same.
238.
That's a 5 kilo increase. Now he's just, you know, in his time when he won the world title in Antalya 4 years ago, I mean, he did actually clean and jerk 250. Now he's obviously not going to get there today. But I think he's just trying to look on the totals. Where's he? He's just too far away, isn't he, from the others?
Yes, it's the snatch phase.
You know, 187, and it puts him, you know, what, 4 kilos behind Skabatis, 4 kilos behind Jabba, and of course he's used up 2 of his 3 attempts. So
here is Jabba.
You'd have to say for Nidek, he's got a choice. I mean, he can sit and wait now. he could sit and wait and see what happens for the next, 5 or 6 minutes with the next few lifts. Maybe Jabba comes out, maybe Skarbatis comes out, and he just has a look at them, which would probably be wise on their first attempts before deciding with his coach whether they wanted to use that third attempt up. Because if either of these two, him or Skarbatis, were to wobble, that would be the one possibility for Nidek, but it's a very, very thin possibility. So Jabba trying to regain the world title, but already on the back foot. Well, that was a pretty straightforward opener there.
Just remember, Jabba has actually made an attempt at the world record. He tried 263 kilos, cleaned it, and just missed the jerk. So he's been up around some pretty big kiloage in his time.
So the halfway leader, Shigishev, 240. Now remember, he's got a 10-kilo advantage over Jabba from the halfway stage from the snatch. That could be very, very important.
I think it's almost certainly going to be crucial.
Shigishev starting off 2.5 kilos below what he finished on in the Europeans last April. Good strong clean, but the bar looking quite heavy.
Well, it's total on the board, but as you say, I think Rezezade's confidence after that last snatch was more in regards to the overall. We know how strong he is in the clean and jerk, and that's the extra body weight. You see, this man extremely powerful, but and that power showing in the snatch phase. Very good speed strength, but on the clean and jerk, power's not enough. You need to be supremely strong, and that extra body weight that Rezazadeh has gives him that added strength because of the extra muscle bulk.
451 though is his total. And the Europeans weighed in at 121 kilos, today at 125, so he's gained a little weight, Shigishev, which is obviously, it helps. So 241 for Ashot Danielen. So this is a healthy increase, 9 kilos. You could almost, he was really trying to psych himself into that, and you could see all the way through there was that sort of...
Well, there's a bit of a limp.
Yeah,
I think he's got a problem with his right knee or hip, and if you have got a problem, then it's really tough to kind of ignore it, and sometimes it's not wise to ignore it. Sometimes it's better to live to fight another day.
Just want to reflect back to the Shigishev first lift. Good choice of weight. Good choice. Got it dead on. So Jabba, Salem, Saeed, Jabba Salem.
Yes, of course, Rezazadeh not up there because...
hasn't started.
No, hasn't come into the competition yet.
Not in a clean and jerk, but of course...
But I don't think we'll see him until the bar gets to around around 250, unless something happens between now and then. I mean, I don't think he's going to come in at more weight than he needs.
Well, originally he put down 240, but he's obviously, you know, happy with the way things are going. He's happy with himself, which is the most important thing. So, you know, he's probably, you know, he might be thinking now maybe 245. I mean, you know, it's exactly what I said. You know, it's like Nidek now had a look at Shigashev. How much further might he go from 240? You see, the 240, he did 242.5 in Europe. You would think possibly, after having watched him in the snatch, that he would, you know, might be capable of adding another 5 kilos to 247, 248. But
I think he's probably capable of about 245,
yeah,
which means that Rezazadeh would have to do 247.
Yeah,
because it's a kilo down and body weight. And I think that's the game Shigashev's going to have to play, because I think Rezazadeh will wait.
Well, this is a man who's also dangerous to Shigashev in terms of overall placing, because Skebartis in the clean and jerk, opening up here, and this is a 250, a proven 250 man.
But not quite so good today.
Yeah. Do you know that moment when you just regret saying what you just said?
But he's still a proven 250 man.
That was poor.
Yeah, but it's so much about. I mean, that's one of the things though that makes sport, any sport, exciting. You know, if everybody just did what was written down on the piece of paper, they might as well send in the result and have the medal sent out. I mean, the thing is, it's the drama of the day, what happens to you in the preparation. So Rezazadeh there with 180 kilos, just warming up. So he certainly won't be coming in for quite a few lifts yet, because we're only on 180 kilos here.
Which makes me think, David, he's going to have a crack at something.
Well, we haven't in this World Championship. We haven't been short of world records, but it's been all women. So to actually on the last day finish off with a world. I mean he was only 3 kilos behind his world record in the snatch, and he looked as if he could have done more if he'd had an extra attempt. And I think what's going to happen here, I mean, is that he's going to win the competition on his first clean and jerk, which you know makes it slightly boring from a composition viewpoint, but it makes it interesting because it then takes the pressure off of him, and if he is feeling good, it gives him the opportunity to jump to a world record and get 2 goes at it.
I've got a feeling that he's after a clean and jerk world record and a total world record. So if we can't have if it turns out that nobody can match him. Ooh. Oh, that's a bit too much reorganisation for my liking.
He was good in the second phase,
yeah,
but it just depends how much this is. And I think he's getting dizzy now.
Yeah.
Struggling to. No, when that starts happening, you're in.
Yeah.
You're in trouble. And as you say, that clean was hard, but let's give him some credit. He didn't give up on it. He gave it his best.
So he finishes with a 238 and a 190.
428, so 28 kilo over his previous
World Championship
best.
Performance. Yeah. Not quite his world, no, because ironically, in the same year as the Senior World Championship, when he won the junior title, he actually lifted 5 kilos more, so he's 23 kilos up actually on his all-time best. But he's going to improve at 19. Now, Victor,
gone up a kilo. So they're falling away a bit in the clean and jerk.
I remember Nidek is sitting there.
Yeah, sitting there waiting and seeing what he needs for the.
Skebartis and Jabber are the two men he's got to keep an eye on. He's got to hope that both falter. One faltering doesn't help him. Both have got to falter.
Well, of course, Shigashev's still got a couple of attempts as well. So Skebartis needs this for a total.
Oh, well, that was totally different. Exhale and push.
Well, he's obviously he's got a problem as well. So a couple of injuries.
So that gives him 444, all the fours.
That's the trouble as well. When the weights are this big, you just do one thing wrong technically, you lose your focus for a second, and it's so easy to pull something, or tear a muscle, or pull a ligament.
So Skiabartis, first man to 243, takes the lead, but still a long way to go.
Stop the clock, please. Skiabartis is going up.
240 kilos?
245.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting now, because this is, for some, this is going to be breaking point.
Yes, it'll be the reds and a green on each end now. Yes, he had to work very, very hard on his opener.
Yeah, Glushko, that's a 8 kilo increase. And once again, the clean is quite hard, and just doesn't have the strength.
They're not able to get that to arm's length.
So we've got Jabba with 2 lifts to go, Shigishev with 2 lifts to go, Razazadeh, of course, with 3. Skiabartis has got 1 more. Pavel Nidek just waiting. He's going to have 1 glory attempt, I think. Weighed in at 138 kilos. Makes him slightly lighter than Skiabartis, but he is heavier than Jabba. So, not wishing Jabba any harm, but I guess Nidek is hoping that he runs into a problem here. Because just looking at this, yeah, well, that's made Nidek's quest a whole lot harder now. 245, and he takes over the advantage from Skiabartis.
But really, he's fighting it out for the bronze, really.
Yes, he is, and he's beginning to edge it, because he's now got a 2 kilo advantage and a body weight advantage over Skiabartis. So the Latvian's got to choose very carefully, and here's Nidek, 245. This is what I thought he was going to do. This is where I thought he was going to wait for. But sadly, in his case, just 187 to add to it if he is successful. But this would be a good achievement, be a decent total.
Oh, well, it was a good effort.
Yeah, it was a really good effort, because he wasn't that far away. You know that there are days when he can lift that. But you know, he missed out on those extra 3 kilos in the snatch. He's missed out on the extra 7 kilos here. Those extra 10 kilos would have put him, you know, there or thereabouts in that bronze medal fight, but not to be. But I think he's acquitted himself respectably today, Nidek. Now, if he gets this, David, I owe you a beer. Unfortunately, not in Doha because it's not possible.
I knew there'd be one. I knew there'd be a way of getting out of it.
What do they say? Oh, I'll buy you one on the plane. Because that's becoming a reality now with all the low frill airlines, isn't it? Come on, Mr. Glushko. Last. No, not to be. I've just saved myself a beer. So really now coming into the very final stage of the very final competition of the Centennial World Championships. In terms of lifting, David, I think it's been a pretty good championship. As I say, the honours definitely go overall to the women's competitions, but this is a fine finale, and it could be even finer now. But 2:45, the second attempt for Shigishev.
Oh, he's gone up to 2:46.
Oh, 2:46. Well, and Razazadeh yet to start, but he must get this to stand any chance of putting pressure on Razazadeh. And that's good. Some support here in the hall.
I think it's because Razazadeh just walked out and sat down on the chair. I don't think it's anything to do with this man.
Well, that is a better clean for me. Now, has he got the strength overhead? Come on! Come on! I'd give him that.
Personal best. Yes. 4:57.
So two.
They're not being very sporty.
No.
The crowd. I don't like to see that. It annoys me. I don't like it. We saw it once in Turkey, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it wasn't good.
Well, I can think back to the World Championships in 1994. You wouldn't have. That was in Istanbul. If you weren't Turkish, you wouldn't have wanted to be lifting on that stage. I mean, it was positively hostile. But to be fair, the sportsmanship has improved a lot over the years. Just the occasional moment, and yeah, I think what they should be doing is they should be really applauding. Look at this man, 125 kilos, and he's outlifting the field. 2:46. 5 out of 5. Well, he needs 250, doesn't he?
I think he needs 250. That would leave Razazadeh needing 252 to beat him. So Razazadeh still warming up. Look, I think he's on 230 now, though. I can't see from this angle, but I'm sure he's added another 25 to each end.
Well, he's a good boy. He doesn't take anything for granted. He goes through the routine. He works everything through. He knows there's a championship to be won. You can't imagine how gutted he would be to lose the World Championship title. Team Razazadeh.
Well, he's been called out slightly again, though. If he's actually got to go out now, he just did his last warm-up. He's going to end up having to rush again.
And it just shows you, when you have a superstar, just how it can pull the crowd in. Now, Skibartis. Last throw of his dice. Bar on 250. So this is for 451. Whatever happens, that 206 of Shigashev has surely secured him the overall silver medal. I can't see Jabba doing anything about that.
So this man fighting back.
No, it's not to be.
No lift.
So it leaves him on 4:44. So that bronze medal is really gone. It's gone Jabba's way. He's got a 2:01 and he's got a 2:45, so he's got 4:46. So Skavatis' opportunity is lost, and maybe he hasn't looked the part, but there's the man who is the overall bronze medalist. Got one more go at it. But knowing that he can't compete with Rezazadeh, knowing that he can't fight Shigashev, but he's done the best he can, and he's been quiet about it, not terribly demonstrative, but he's delivered Qatar a super heavyweight bronze medal.
That's weird, that is, that little thing. Have you seen that little thing? It's about the size of a credit card, and there's a guy that pulls it out of his pocket and then puts it under Rezazadeh's nose, and then kind of pulls it up over his face and over his head and over the back of his head. And he always does it, and it's not smelling salts, because he just had the smelling salts while he was sitting on the chair. And I've noticed him doing that. I don't know if it's some kind of, I don't know, something religious or just one of his little sort of idiosyncrasies, but I've noticed it every time.
So this 2:51 would give Rezazadeh a running total of 2:61. And of course, Shigashev's got 4:57.
Well, it wasn't easy to work. Well, I'll tell you what, if Shigashev could come out and do that 2:51, Rezazadeh in the second phase there was not as convincing as we've seen him in the past.
So Shigashev, well, he's got to come out and do 2:51 to give himself 4:62. And that would mean that Rezazadeh would have to go 4:63 to take it off him. So that would push
4:53, yeah.
4:63.
No, 4:50. If he does 2:51.
Well,
oh, the total, yeah.
Total,
yeah,
yes.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Now, can he do the perfect sequence of 6 out of 6? This is a lifetime best competition for him. He's come in here wonderfully prepared. And of course, this is really the lift that we want him to do, to force Rezazadeh.
Put Rezazadeh under, because Rezazadeh's never really been under pressure.
Now, come on, he says, and rightly so. This is my stage, give me my time. You can have your boy back in a minute, but give me my time. And he deserves respect. So at 125 kilos, this is Yevgeny Shigashev, 26 years of age for Russia, to regain the lead if he can pick this up.
They're not giving him silence, it's not right.
No, and the public address speaker isn't actually helping him, because they're not asking for it either. So not easy conditions.
He limped off after the 2:46.
But it is a lifetime best. He is the overall super heavyweight silver medalist. It's been a terrific display of weightlifting by Yevgeny Shigashev. And just a pity he couldn't just go that little bit further. He finishes on 4:57, which means that Hossein Rezazadeh at the moment has a 4-kilo advantage. And now, David, the big question. What is Rezazadeh prepared to do? Is he prepared to give us a show? I mean, to finish on 461 is a little, well, it's a little better than Vancouver when he won it with 457.2.
264 he needs for the world record. So
he's got to get it, surely. Yeah, he's got to go. Well, 263, waste of time. Come on, 264.
Well, I thought the world record was 260.
Well, I don't
263.
Yeah, 263.
So we need to go for 264. Maybe it's a graphics thing again.
Yeah, I can't. There'd be no point in coming out for 263.
Ah, no, there is a point actually. The total record, because remember it was 272 and a half, and because of the new 1 kilo rule, so this would actually be a new total record.
Oh, what you mean? So he goes for.
Well, the total record was 472 and a half because of the half. So this would be 473, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but come on. Yeah, put another kilo on, and you know.
Well, he's got another attempt after this. So.
Well, I know, but even so. Yeah, I mean, 263, 264. And now they're even trying to calm the crowd down now to let him focus and concentrate. Of course, there is a $10,000 bonus. That will not have gone amiss. The coaches will be well aware of that. He's a pretty wealthy young man, Hossein Razazadeh, because of his exploits in this sport, but nonetheless, it's there to be taken. But he has got one more attempt at it. And it just goes to show you, David, what might have happened if Shigashev could have lifted that last lift. And that will not be lost on the Russian.
No, well, I could see that he wasn't looking comfortable in the second phase on the first with 251. So if he's going to do this, he's going to have to get it. He's going to have to find a little bit more and get it just right. You see, to do the magic 500, he'd need to snatch 225, and he'd need to jerk 275. So he's got a way to go, and he hasn't improved for a couple of years now.
No. You know, 460 winning the Asian title this year. World Championships 457 and a half. The Olympics. Well, the Olympics in Athens, to be fair, 472 and a half.
I think he's finished.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to try again.
I think he's absolutely decided to call it a day. No, he wouldn't have gone back this far. They want him to come out. Everybody wants that one encore lift. Just look at those eyes, though, David. All those men, women, young girls, young boys, they really, really like this. He does something for them. He makes them proud. But it's not to be. Kisses means it's over. And it is over, David. It's been 10 days of really exciting lifting, good competitive sport here in Doha, and the Centennial World Championships have been successful in terms of lifting. Didn't quite end the way we wanted it to, but you know, all credit to Yevgeny Shigashev. If this was to be decided on points, having weighed in at 125 kilos, he would be the man who would get the points decision today. But as it is the big guy who retains his world championship, takes the clean and jerk title, but of course doesn't get the clean sweep because Shigashev at least has the consolation of the snatch gold.
That's right, and if Shigashev could actually put on another 10 kilos of muscular body weight over the next couple of years, he could lift even more. He could be even more challenging, especially in the clean and jerk phase.
Yeah, they're very
That's
similar.
where you need the body weight.
Yeah, very similar age. Shigashev's a year younger at 26 than Razazadeh. So the gap looks huge when you look at it statistically like that, but what we've seen today is hope for Shigashev.